Keke Palmer says that Clair Huxtable character is uppity. Let's talk about it. All right, welcome back. Welcome back over here to Pepe's Point of View. I'm yours truly, Pepe. And let's just get right into it. So Keke Palmer says that Clair Huxtable, the character that is played by Phylicia Rashad in The Cosby Show, is uppity. When I first heard this statement, my first reaction was raw, right? Then I went to a place of raw to now, you know, I don't know. I don't know pretty much what she's thinking, but I will say this. I think the first thing we must do, if we don't do anything else, we're going to miss it if we do not understand uppity. What is it? Okay? And so when we think about the word uppity, we think of the word stuck up, vain, snooty, snobbish, smug, self-important, egotistical, high and mighty, a know-it-all, bossy, so on and so forth, right? When we think of the word uppity. But the way she was using the word uppity and how she was describing it was more so her interactions with Cliff from the clip I was able to hear. And it sounded like she was saying, oh, just hurry up and say it already. Just say it already as it relates to Cliff. So when I first thought about it, I was about to go down a whole different path. But let me just stay here for a second. Keke, you younger women, I don't know what to say about you all. Because obviously you didn't watch Clair Huxtable enough. You have not learned enough from Clair Huxtable. I think you probably want to go back and I'm being honest, sweet. You probably want to go back and watch every single episode of The Cosby Show. I think you might want to do that. And after you watch every single episode of The Cosby Show, I think you'll understand Clair Huxtable better than you understand her now because you're coming from a place of immaturity. You are an immature woman at this moment in time as it relates to Clair. And I'm sure that Clair can sit down and school you about a whole lot of things. And I think at the end of the day, sugar, she would tell you that uppity is not who she is, okay? Now, she might have some characteristics or she might present herself to you in a way in which you don't understand. And you might call her uppity for the way in which she comes off. But then again, you are an immature individual, meaning that you have not reached the level of womanhood the way in which Clair Huxtable has reached the womanhood. And so therefore, sugar, you don't understand Clair Huxtable. So even with me from a male perspective, I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what I see with Clair Huxtable because I grew up literally watching The Cosby Show, okay, from the very beginning all the way up until it ended. And I'm here to tell you, uppity is not one of the words that you want to use to describe Clair Huxtable for the most part. When I think about Clair Huxtable's character, and I see Clair Huxtable interactions with her family, with her husband, with her children, with her parents, with her co-workers, with her neighbors, even with strangers, as it relates to the Cosby Show. And then when I see her interactions with her children's friends, and then her interactions with her grandchildren on the show, uppity is something she's not. See, I understand, baby, where you come from. You probably living in that bubble where you cannot understand what it's like to be, I guess, a mother, a wife, a career woman. Oh yes, I'm going all the way down there without knowing who you are, Keke. But you might not understand that. And Claire is pretty much a consummate woman when I think about it, because see, she's a woman who knows who she is. That's number one. That's Clair Huxtable. She understands her heritage. She knows where she comes from. She knows where she is, and she understands where she's going. Not only do she understands all of those things, but she also understands that she has the resources to back her up, not only to help her get there, but to help her family get there. And not only to help herself and her family get there, but she has enough resources, sugar, to get people who are not in her family, maybe in her community or her surrounding areas, or maybe within her company, to get there as well, because you do know eventually she did make partner of her law firm, right? So do you understand all of those dynamics? I want you to understand. And when I'm talking about resources, I'm not just talking about monetary resources. She's an educated woman. That's number one. Then she has the financial resources. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then she has the connections. See, but you don't understand that about Clair Huxtable at all. Another thing you need to understand about Clair Huxtable is this, and this is what I've gotten out of Clair Huxtable. She's a woman who understood her roles in everything she did and interacted with people. She understood her roles. That's just how I perceive her to be. See, when you talk about her and not, how can I say it, her interactions with Cliff Huxtable, and you're saying to yourself, oh, just hurry up and say it. Just let Cliff know what you want. Sugar, you must not understand how to entertain your man, then, do you? See, there's a certain part about Clair Huxtable that I liked about her, and that she maintained her femininity when she was interacting with Cliff. You understand what I'm saying? She understood that she needed to play with him a little bit, but you don't understand that, do you? Nah, sugar, you don't understand how to play with your man, I guess, because you just it's too uppity for you. Do you understand what I'm saying? She understood that. She understood that sometimes her interactions with Cliff was more of, let me just be, kind of, playful with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me be playful with him. Let me play with him. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let me keep the flame going, flickering. You understand what I'm saying? Burning. Yeah, that's what she was doing when it came to Cliff. You understand what I'm saying? She understood there were some times when she was interacting with Cliff that she needs to let him know what it was. And there was other times when she was interacting with Cliff and she was like, wait a minute, this is playtime. Do you understand? But you don't get that, do you? Let me explain something else to you when it comes to Clair Huxtable. Forget about her interactions with Cliff right now. See, you didn't watch enough of the episodes to understand that Claire also had other men after her as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, there were other men who found her attractive. You understand? And never at any time during those episodes did she ever think about stepping out on Cliff. What she did was she understood, hey, I can sit here and have lunch with you. Oh, yes, and I can entertain you. But at the end of the day, I am with my sisters and I have 5 children at home. Yeah, I can do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I can do that. See, but you don't understand that, sugar. You don't understand that. See, you could possibly be the female where you would say, wait a minute, hold on. How can I get out? What can I get out of this man too? I'm just saying. But Claire understood what she had at home. Yeah, that was Claire. See, she understood. See, she also understood that if you got to understand this, if for whatever reason I am no longer with Cliff, I have continued to keep myself in a size 6 dress, sugar, and I can go out and I have kept myself together mentally, physically, spiritually, all of that. And you know what, babe? I can go out and I can get me another man with these 5 children. Do you understand, sugar, what I'm saying to you right now? But not only that, Clair Huxtable is a woman to me who not only understood all those things, but guess what? She also understood how she needed to be when interacting with her children. She understood that. Do you get where I'm going with this? So to call her uppity and to call her bossy, all right, because that's what, see, there's a time and a place and a season for all things, right? And not only is there time and place for all things, then I'm also thinking about you have to do some things decent and in order. So when I think about Clair Huxtable, she did it decent and in order. Here's another example, all right? Wait a minute, Cliff. This girl is lying to us. Yeah, Vanessa. She's out here hugged up, kissed up with this boy she's been lying to us about. We know she's lying. So how about this? How about we meet this head on? So what she and her husband did, all right, let's move the chairs around in the house. Let's move the couches around in the house. And as soon we want her to be the first eyes. I mean, the first people she lay eyes on when she opens this door, because we're not having it. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. That's Clair Huxtable. But you also have to understand that Clair Huxtable was also a woman who understood that there was just certain things that she needed to keep her hands off of, right? And not deal with. Cliff, that's for you to handle. Case in point, I remember an episode of the Cosby Show, and I think it was probably one of the first episodes when Theo came home with, I think, some D's on his report card, and she was like, Cliff, you need to handle this because he got some D's, and if I go up there and talk to him, he's going to say fine, and I'm going to have to do something to him. So you need to deal with this, Cliff. You understand what I'm saying? And what Cliff do? Well, I got to go over here and let me eat first. No, you're not eating right now. You need to handle this right now. And that's exactly what Cliff did. And he basically said, oh, okay, I guess I'll be more hard on him on an empty stomach. So she's not uppity. I think the disconnect that we have when it comes to understanding these types of things is that we have to stop. And before we go off to judging someone, we have to do it from a place of understanding. Now, if you understood Clair Huxtable's character and you came to that conclusion, then I think you would come to a place where you would probably say, okay, yes, I guess she was kind of uppity. But your uppity is one where you're trying to put down. And my uppity, I guess, because I'm saying if you're saying she's bossy, then she is what? She is uppity, right? Because that's what uppity is, right? You say she's bossy. Now, how many women out there right now today right? I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Well, if you're saying you're a boss, then you're saying you're uppity. If you're saying that I'm important, self-important, then you're saying I'm uppity, right? See, to me, Clair Huxtable is a woman who just did not allow people to walk over her. Another point, case in point. How about this? We got to be mindful of what we say. Clair Huxtable is a woman who kept herself together, right? She kept herself together. She does that now, even off the show. She keeps herself together. And there are a lot of women out there who do that now. Like that's what some women now are known for. Oh, she's known for the ladies wearing the latest clothing. You know, she's always put together, so on and so forth. So then you're stuck up. I'm not saying that. You're stuck up. A woman who keeps herself together, that's what you're saying, she's stuck up. So then if you're saying she's stuck up, then it's like, well, I guess I am. If I like to keep myself looking good, I guess you can say I'm stuck up. And you can be okay with that. Right? So I think we have to know it all. She has an opinion. Yes, Clair Huxtable is someone who has an opinion. So if someone who has an opinion, then again, she is a know-it-all. I remember an episode, now that I'm thinking about the Cosby Show episodes. I remember there was an episode where I think it was Theo. Theo was, I think Theo was trying to move in. He had gone to college, and I think he was trying to move in with Justine. I think it was. He was trying to move in with Justine. Or he had moved in with Justine, and he was renting out his apartment. And he was keeping that money to himself. He was, for himself. And Claire and Bill found out about it. Long story short, what ends up happening is that they find out about it, and then they're like, no. Clair Huxtable made a statement in that episode, and you have to be very mindful. You called her uppity, so I'm going to help you out. Clair Huxtable said, wait a minute. We're not saying that these what these other children are doing if they're if they're deciding that they want to shack up together, you know, and live together. College students, you know, live with their girlfriends and their boyfriends. We're not saying anything negative about them. We're not saying that they're not going to be they're not going to have decent lives and be decent people in a roundabout sort of way. That's what Claire said. But she told Theo this. She said, but we do have an opinion about it. That's what she told Theo. She said to him, I have an opinion about the fact that you want to live with Justine and you're in college. I have an opinion. So is that the same thing as being a know-it-all? Do you understand what I'm saying? Puffed up? I don't know. But that's what she said. So when you say she's uppity, she's definitely uppity then, right? But she's not uppity in a way that you're trying to put her down. Not at all. Because see, your idea of, well, when I think about uppity, when I think about stuck up, I've never seen Clair Huxtable's character do this at all. Never. I have not watched all the episodes, but I watched enough in my lifetime. And I've never seen her put anyone down, even when she was trying to get her point across, because that's not what she did. She put people in their place when it came to them trying to walk over her. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, Clair Huxtable, to me, is the kind of person, you know the saying, Don't come for me unless I send for you. See, that's Clair Huxtable. I didn't send for you. What you coming for me for? Mm-mm. She's that kind of woman, right? I remember an episode where that was asking her to be a part of this panel, and they were having this panel discussion. And at the end of the day, what they did to her, in so many words, had her on the panel and said, well, you need to stay in your place, lady, until we talked about the black issues or the women issues. But we don't want to hear from you. And she was around in a panel of a bunch of older white males. And so she held her ground. And pretty much the comment that Cliff and the men made back in the green room was, she's not a donut. You have to understand these things. So you have to be very mindful. This is just very immature for the most part for you to say, Keke Palmer. I think so. It's very immature. You have not lived long enough, to even understand, when you made a comment about Clair being uppity. I would also like to end by saying this, because I don't like to go over 30 minutes. I would also like to end pretty much saying this. We have to be mindful, because I also thought about Bill Cosby and the fact of all of the things that Bill Cosby, has been through with all of these allegations, so on and so forth. And then another thing came to my mind. I think he's back in the media about some more allegations. And then I thought about it and I said, here we go. And where are we? For the most part, everyone on the Cosby Show has not really been touched by these allegations. Meaning is that they have pretty much gone on, been able to live their lives for the most part. The only person I think of who's probably been very vocal about it has been Joseph Phillips, who played Martin. He was Denise's husband on the show. He has some things to say about Bill Cosby, but for the most part, I don't think the media has pretty much attacked any of the cast members on the Cosby Show, And so I was saying to myself, and this is when I was in my raw, I was like, So now is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to squeeze this into, the media, where we can now be so carefree as to just make these kind of comments when it comes to the Cosby Show. The Cosby Show represents so much in Black culture and African American culture. You could say with the minority population, that we have to be very mindful at the end of the day how we handle the Cosby Show. That's just my own personal opinion about it. We have to be mindful of it, because these characters came out in a time, ma'am, where people were saying this did not exist in Black America. You did not have a lawyer and a doctor, a Black lawyer and a Black doctor married. You did not have them with their Black children. You did not have them having a sense of heritage. Any of those things. You did not. There was nothing unheard of, but yet we could understand something like Good Times, though, right? A struggling Black family in the ghetto. We got that one. Who lived in the ghetto, who did not accept handouts and stretching and surviving. We understood that. So if that's the case, and now that I'm thinking about Florida Evans is pretty much the same as Clair Huxtable. So I guess we can say that Florida Evans is uppity too. It is what it is. I'm pretty much, I'm done. I thank you guys so much for, watching over here, for supporting. And if you have made it this far in the video, then I think it's very much appropriate to go ahead on and ask you, to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, as well as leave a comment and tell me what you think. Because again, there are all kinds of different opinions about this. I'm pretty sure that it's out there. And also to remember over here, we believe in putting our behind where our hearts desires to be. And that's what I'm also asking of you guys. Hey, live your dream, right? And also remember, whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I love you guys so much, and thank you so much for your support. I promise you, I know that I cannot do this without you. So thank you all so much for hanging in there with me as we are going through, the changes with the video with this channel over here. I appreciate you guys so much. And on that note, I'm looking forward to seeing you next video. And until then, you all take care of yourselves out there.